Welcome to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and this is a kind of a sneak preview episode of our new podcast here. We are originally Movie Drunks. We have rebranded to the name Seen It Before, and we'll explain that more in our next episode. But for now, we're going to get to a brand new movie that has come out. It is Scream 5, I guess you would call it. And we have one of our recurring guests for the podcast that has been on multiple times, Kylie.
What's up? Huge fan of the movies.
Yeah, huge fan of the Scream movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you love these movies. So what made you get into these movies? Like, what sticks out the most about these movies to you?
Okay, so Scream was one of the first movies I had ever. Well, one of the first horror movies that I saw is probably in the top 3 of movies where I sat down and watched them and thought to myself, hey, maybe this genre isn't so scary after all.
Yeah.
I used to watch, not really watch even, I used to watch TV, and anytime a horror movie commercial came on the screen, I would cover my eyes because I couldn't deal with even the jump scares like in the commercials. I couldn't deal with them. And so Scream made me realize, hey, there's more to this genre than just people popping out, although that's in here. People popping out and...
A lot of people popping out.
All right, so there are a lot of people popping out, but this is a special episode. We're doing both a recap of the original first Scream as well as a full review, spoilers included, of the newest Scream movie. So without further ado, let's get into this.
All right, before we get into the actual movie, this is replacing our drunk commentary that we used to have.
Yeah, like during the movies we watched.
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of go over like the potential theories for what this movie would go through, or this, you know. Yeah,
just some internet theories that I'm just looking up casually on my phone right now. So according to, I guess, Film School Rejects, I'm on their website right now. They have 5 different theories on here. And the first one is Sidney Prescott is going to get killed in the cold open of the movie.
I like that because Neve Campbell is... So, like, the whole reason, and I'll get into this in the actual podcast, the reason that Drew Barrymore's in the first one is because she was just a big star, and they used her in the trailer and kind of like a bait and switch kind of thing to get people to come in. And so it's a big shock at the beginning of the movie. Like, you have no idea where this movie's going to go. Yeah. So that'd be perfect for them to do for this movie.
Also a little meta, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, yeah, Scream has always been meta. You know?
That's another thing. This whole movie could be a meta interpretation as well. Another theory, which, kind of like The Matrix did.
So what do they mean by meta interpretation?
Well, all right, hold on. That's on a different website. I didn't think I was going to get to that just yet. But
so I don't know what they quite mean by that.
So it says, it's a YouTube channel. They said... it could be a whole meta film in which audiences are watching the legacy actors and newcomers play themselves trying to survive a real-life Ghostface attack.
So they kind of do like a New Nightmare kind of thing?
Yeah.
Where like the actors, like Neve Campbell isn't playing Sidney Prescott, she's playing
herself.
Neve Campbell.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be cool.
I'd hate that. Like, I honestly would hate that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for New Nightmare. But like... but like you can't do Wes Craven. Like there's what I'll get into this in the actual podcast, but you can't do Wes Craven without Wes Craven.
Yeah, well, and they're doing this movie for Wes Craven, so like hopefully they're gonna do it a justice in a way.
Yeah, like I know that they kind of, in my opinion, they tarnished his reputation by doing the TV series, but I'll get into the podcast.
Hold your horses. Okay. Another theory we got is Sidney Prescott is the killer in this movie.
Don't like that one.
Yeah, I don't either.
She's been through too much to be the killer. It's just dumb if they go that route.
Dewey is the mastermind.
Again, don't like it. He's been through all the shit with Sidney, so he's never shown to have like a bad side, like, even a hint of it. So it wouldn't make any sense to me.
All right. Jamie Kennedy's character Randy faked his own death and is the Scream 5 killer because he was killed in the second movie. So
right. Okay. So this one is interesting. I don't know how he would fake his death because he definitely wasn't involved in Scream 2, like with the killer, even a hint of it. So like I would doubt. I mean, he could maybe survive. I wouldn't say he faked his death though.
Yeah, I mean, He responded to a tweet in 2019 that said Randy faked his death and is the mastermind behind the killings. But then he responded by saying, they're making a new Scream, and I think this is an interesting angle, and I believe I know why he did it. Who's on board? So he might just be playing into fan speculation there, but like...
I think he is. No offense to Jamie Kennedy, but his career is kind of hit a downslope. It's not really going anywhere. I mean, but then they could do a John Travolta thing.
But yeah, and the favorite theory, I think, of mine at least, is that Stu is alive and he like, you know, he got the TV smashed on his fucking face. But I think he's I think it's a plausible theory, mainly because I just want to see the GOAT Matthew Lillard. So
he's great.
Yeah.
And like very underappreciated. You know, and like, I mean, he's Shaggy to everyone, but like
Shaggy.
Yeah. But yeah, he's awesome. He's definitely awesome as Stu. I like him even though he's the killer. Like I just like him as a character. He's fucking awesome, dude. But yeah, that would be so interesting if he comes back.
Yeah.
Because he was originally supposed to be the killer for 3, right?
Yes, he was originally supposed to escape from prison and enact revenge on Sidney Prescott. So I mean, that's the original premise for the 3rd movie, apparently.
That'd be cool. And I mean, recently I have seen a little bit more of Matthew Lillard in the spotlight.
Well, I mean, memes.
Yeah, memes, but like, why now? You know?
Why now? Because fucking Zoomers. I don't know.
I don't know. You know, sometimes I don't know. It can mean something.
But yeah, so those are some of the theories that we think could possibly happen. Let's see which ones actually are true, if any of them.
All right, so we just watched Scream 2022, the first movie I've seen.
Scream 5.
Scream 5. Okay, it's the first movie I've seen this year in theaters.
Agreed. Same.
So you know, it's kind of a good way to start off the.
Well,
shut up, Dan. I just remembered
Spider-Man
too.
again. You know.
I wasn't talking about that.
I was talking about Spider-Man. Oh yeah, I saw The King's Man as well.
Yeah. Well,
but that came out last year, so like, well, that is the first 2022
First 2020.
movie.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. We saved it.
We got there.
We got it.
Can I just say I'm really glad it's not called 5 Cream because that was a joke.
Cream.
That was a joke.
Oh
like when they
yeah.
were filming this. The whole notion of having one of the numbers be in,
Yeah.
5
You're gonna
Cream.
call it 5 Cream?
Yes.
That's
So
Sounds like a
actually-
really shitty porn site.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, Jack
Anyway.
Quaid,
Yeah, that
who
sounds
plays
right.
Richie,
That sounds
he
right.
made T-shirts for the entire cast.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cream.
So before we
5
get
Cream.
into our review of 5 Cream, Scream 5, we're going to watch Danny strip. All right, we're going to.
I was just taking off my sweatshirt. God, didn't even call attention
Fuck
to
you,
it.
dude. You like a lady? Gross. You're
Did you like the show?
No, we're gonna go through a recap now of the first Scream movie. So, Danny,
I think I was more turned on by watching Ghostface get stabbed.
all right. So let's start off with the iconic opening scene. How about we just start right there?
Drew Barrymore was used in the trailer to seem like she would be a big part of the movie. That's my
nope. She got axed.
She got axed, and so I thought that was a pretty genius thing to do because she was really big at the time.
Yeah.
And really nice to include her in that way, and like they kind of set up an iconic kind of trope for these movies specifically. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. The phone ringing, building suspense through that whole scene. That was really well done.
Yeah. So I can't think of Scream the original without thinking about Scary Movie.
Knew that was going to come up.
Original title. That was the
It was the original
Yep.
title of the screenplay. So
The screenplay?
the screenplay, the Silver Scream.
Ha
ha.
Shut the fuck up. I love that song.
He likes
Those
Ice Nine
songs.
Kills.
I do like
That's
Ice
the
Nine
joke.
Kills. All right, anyway. Keep going.
So I can't stop thinking about the Steve's tied to the chair, like out in the patio. I can't not think of the guy that looks like Prince. Like that's in Scary Movie.
Yeah,
where he's like, help! Ah! He just starts screaming. I can't not think about that. It's so funny.
I just love when like the Casey Becker character in Scary Movie. She's running across, and it's like I think Carmen Electra or something like that.
Yeah.
She's running across, and the sprinklers come on, and she like
And she's like,
has her clothes
striptease. Yeah.
has her clothes ripped off, and
Then he stabs her silicone breast.
Yes,
her
and he's
fake
like,
boob.
the fuck?
He's like, ugh. He tries to shake it off. So, anyway, that's enough of Scary Movie. But
Back
to Scream.
Scream.
This is a movie inside of a movie inside of a movie review.
Yeah, very much so. Wow, that was meta.
Meta.
That was meta, and that is that is a theme for this for Five Cream, as we're gonna get to. But no,
Should I just call it Five Cream like on the podcast?
No, let's not. But yeah, so Billy Loomis ends up being the killer at the end. Get it? Because Loomis, Halloween. There was a lot of fucking references to 80s horror movies, and it's a great homage that Wes Craven did, and it's just very well done.
Can we highlight Wes Craven for a second? He's the only director that I really know, other than, ironically, shut up. No, I wasn't going to mention Tarantino.
Uh-huh.
I was going to say nowadays Lana Wachowski is. So we don't get too many directors that are really meta and like want to reflect on the genre and in a blatant way like he did, you know, and how Lana does now. So I just thought it was really. He did it with New Nightmare and he did it with Scream, and like he brought it in. He brought the movie fan discussion into the movie. I hit my mic on accident.
It's okay.
And it's so genius of a thing to do. You don't see you really don't see that anymore in movies. I can't really. There might be some out there. I just can't think of any right now.
Yeah, we're not gonna go searching right now.
No. It's late.
Maybe there'll be a cut-in later, but probably not.
Probably not. No, this is a new podcast. We don't do cut-ins anymore.
You're right. We don't do cut-ins anymore, but
Unless we want to do them.
Only slicing and dicing. That's the only thing we do.
Sliced and diced.
Kylie, what's your favorite part of the first Scream movie?
Ooh.
Yeah. Throwing out the big guns right away.
Okay, so the two things come to mind. The first one that came to mind was I'm feeling a bit woozy up in here, whatever he says.
Who's here, man? Yeah.
She was no Sharon Stone, like Stu Macher, one of my favorites. Also, Randy Meeks. I was saying to Danny, of course, we're both super jealous, and probably Dan too, super jealous that Randy got to work at a video store. Randy's just the geek in all three of us, I think, and that was definitely entertaining.
Preferably, I never wanted to work at a video store, but that's just me.
Hey, you wanted to play baseball.
Yeah, I did.
Bitch.
Fuck you.
Okay, but you wouldn't be doing this podcast right now if you didn't love movies, and he loved movies. So I think
damn right.
That's not even a movie. It's a TV show.
God.
something
I wasn't even trying to reference that. Now you're making, you know what, just
iconic quotes, especially towards the end.
Throw a water bottle.
throwing an empty water bottle at you. All right.
Well, I guess we're going around. Let's say what our favorite part was. So Kylie's was, just Stu Macher, just as a whole, right?
Yeah, especially like towards the end, the clever responses, quotable. Yes.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Love Matthew Lillard.
Quotes towards the end too.
Yeah.
Act 3, just chef's kiss.
I think my favorite part is probably gonna like you were saying, Kylie, with talking about the movie store.
Yeah.
That whole conversation that Stu and Randy have, where like everyone's a suspect, and that whole scene, my favorite scene in the movie, because he's just putting everything out on the table. He's like, "How do I know you're not the killer? How do I know you're not the killer?" You know, and then Billy comes up behind him. It's so clearly like they're the killer at that point. If like you're like if you're reading into it, or knowing what you know, it's so obvious. So it's really cool. That's my favorite scene.
I agree with Kylie. It's Matthew Lillard all the way. Him towards the end, especially that last scene where he just goes fucking psycho. It's just
because you can call Billy, but you can't call Stu.
Yeah,
like Billy, like there's references throughout that. Yeah, he gets kicked. He has the bruise. He gets arrested. All that. You can call that, but you can't. You don't know Stu, and even Stu is just more ambiguous, and he's just he's a little sus. I'll leave it at that.
Well, Stu was great because he's like he was fucking like what did he say at the end? He's like, "Are you still alive?" He's like, "Come and get me, bitch." And he's on the phone. He's like, "My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me." You know, he brought like comedy into like the most serious part of the movie, and it's just so great. I don't know how he did it.
Who the fuck says that too? Like, I think that was improvised. Like I think he ad-libbed that.
That's so perfect.
Probably did.
Matthew Lillard,
honestly. Man. All right. So do you want to put out grades for the first Scream right now?
Yeah.
All right, Danny, you start. Go ahead.
Sorry, I guess I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I give it a 90. I really enjoyed this last time we watched it. It still holds up.
Honestly,
what can I say?
It does. It's just meta enough. It has kind of the twist of, two people doing the killing, which is kind of original for the time. Like, it wasn't really a thing back in the 90s. And came out the year I was born, 1996.
96.
So, yeah, right. It's gonna get a 87 for me. It's 87. Fantastic. It's not my favorite horror movie, but it was a great rewatch because I've only seen the movie maybe like 3 times total. This being the 4th time, but you know what? It still holds up every time. Like, the suspense still gets me, and it's just masterfully. I'm running out of words here.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, adjectives. Yeah.
It was adjectives.
Yes. Kylie?
I think, I'm going to go with like a 90 because if it were done by anyone besides like Wes Craven, like I don't think it would be that high. I think the fact that he even pokes fun at his own movie franchise, Nightmare on Elm
with
Street.
Fred the janitor.
Oh, that too, yeah. But also the original like opening scene where he's like, "Oh, is that the one with the guy with knives with fingers?" Like, he can have fun with himself, but also make a movie that keeps you guessing. And I like the meta thing. I think that's original. So 90. I mean, it is one of my favorites. But like a lot of movies, if you know who the killer is, kind of takes something away. But what is fresh and unique to Scream is the meta and the homages to other slashers. And so that is why I would place it at a 90.
Well said.
Nice.
All right. Moving on to 5 Cream, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it. Spoilers from here on out for the newest Scream movie. All right.
Richie's the killer. And Amber's the killer.
Wow, that was quick.
Yep.
All right.
We warned you.
Yeah, we warned you. We didn't even give you a second to turn it off.
Yeah, no.
Jesus Christ.
Nope.
Might want to add a little something there.
No, that's not how we roll.
No, we don't like our fans.
But
I love you guys. Should we keep listening, please?
I love our fans.
I live our fans.
I live our fans. I larve our
Toxic.
fans.
No. Toxic fandom.
Toxic fandom. No. Oh my God. So
Okay, so
that's a good place to start.
Anyone who knows me is quote unquote the toxic fan they're referring to. So didn't like that call out too much. That was kind of like.
Are you making your own requel right now?
Maybe I'm making my
sequel?
own. I'm
Whatever
making
the fuck
my
it's
own.
called.
My own like story of like I'm gonna be the next killer in Scream 6. But yeah, I liked I liked the
Let's start from the beginning.
From the beginning. Well, okay, so God created man, and
I swear to. Yeah, I swear
So
to that.
first off, Drew Barrymore, Casey Becker should get the call.
yeah, exactly where it all began.
Yeah.
She's making Jiffy Pop.
All right, fair. All right, so.
But so all right, movie starts off with do not know her name. Sam's sister.
Tara.
That's it.
Tara.
Tara
I'm gonna keep
Carpenter.
IMDb open for characters' names
Because John Carpenter.
John
right?
Carpenter,
Yep.
your favorite.
Yeah. He actually told me that. Because,
I caught that, and he's
Yeah.
like, it went right over his head.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Well, I was on some other track, but
You were on something, all right.
I was on something.
But
Heroin.
What?
What?
Okay, so it starts out very similarly to the first one with some modern day, things like the automatic locking doors, like.
Right.
So that's a little different. Like, you don't see that. Like, these killers are.
One little relic of like the late 90s was the home phone, like the landline. Nobody has a landline anymore. Are you kidding me? Like I know my dad does, but because he like runs like a business and he's really old school
they live
like
with their
that.
parents. Well, their moms. So like, it's theoretically
I
they can
get
still
it,
have one.
but like, come on, nobody has a landline. Right?
In 10 years, like they're not gonna wait 10 years to make Scream 6. They're not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't think that's gonna.
The way that this movie ends, I think it does set up. Like, I like these characters that survived enough to have another movie
Yeah,
if they
for
want to
sure.
do it. But yeah, so right off the bat, interesting. They don't kill off the first person
I was
that's
like,
attacked.
oh yeah, she dead, but no, she not dead.
She survived.
You sound like the guy behind me. She did.
She
Oh
did.
my
Oh, yeah,
God.
there was a guy in their theater that would not shut up during the movie.
Hey, the first half was okay. After that, he just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At the midpoint.
Anyway, yeah, at the midpoint. But
Oh
so,
boy, was that a minute point.
before we get
Yeah.
to that, so we're introduced to all the characters. It gets very meta very quick with like, because there's this movie inside the movie called Stab, which is basically the Scream movies. Do you see the cast list that they have or something?
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
saw.
wow,
I caught Luke Wilson was playing Billy Loomis.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's weird.
I have to rewatch it again later.
But yeah.
there was a couple good ones in there. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of acknowledgments. There was a street. What was Elm Street?
Yeah,
I call it that. I was like, Elm Street. Let's see. There's just lots of little nods in the movie that are really cool to see.
The whole party that they have.
Yeah. So the party. Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves.
No, we're still in the first half. We're still in the first half.
All right, we'll get
Is
to the
that-
party later.
Okay, yeah. That's more second, third act.
So yeah, let's talk about Dylan Minette's character Wes, because Wes.
Yeah.
He.
See, now that you say it, it's kind of getting annoying. There's
Yeah.
a lot of references
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he's the son of Deputy Judy Hicks. So
Who was in the fourth one?
fourth movie. Yep.
Was
so,
in love with Dewey.
Lemon
Yes.
squares.
Lemon squares.
Lemon squares.
You tried her lemon squares?
I haven't seen that movie, but you know what?
Yeah,
it
it's a
makes
thing.
sense.
It's
It
a
makes
thing.
sense. Yeah. So I didn't. So they kill her. Ghostface kills her off in like
In broad
the
daylight.
driveway in broad daylight, which is weird. That never happens.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was actually going to kill Dylan Minette's character.
Yeah, I thought
I did
he
not
was,
think that.
I thought he was gonna get that taser. You know, I thought he was gonna be like, when he's like, "Fuck you," and I thought he was gonna like kind of. Cause what I would have done, you know, this is me being all like in retrospect. You know, like these the crappy like TikTok self defense people. There's like, what you got to do is you got to like redirect their fort. Anyway, so I would have like when he's like kind of stabbing me with the knife, he's like kind of getting it at my throat. I would have like shoved it to the left and like have him like go full force into the door and then have enough time to reach for the taser and then tase him.
Not everybody's you, Danny.
I know. It's just
Okay,
you know.
but no one thinks to like knee the person.
Yeah, it's stuff like that, and it's like I know you're in a heightened situation and like it's hard to think and you're seeing red and stuff, but like
Well, the thing with that is like, it was they're building up in the kitchen when he's just like making a sandwich or whatever. It's like the doors open, everything,
Yeah.
like nothing's behind the door. Oh, nothing's behind the door again. It's like,
There's, like,
okay, are they just not going to kill him?
there's a good
Was,
5 minutes of that.
That was like, oh, that was.
It's-
See, it's more meta stuff there. It's like, ugh,
That's
horror
not-
movie tropes.
That's gonna be
Like-
like a hard scene to watch when it comes out on Blu-ray. Once you know what's going on, you're like, oh, can we just fast forward through this? Because
Well, you kind of know that
Yeah.
he's gonna bite it. Like,
Yeah,
I wish I don't know.
I kind of wish he didn't.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
like-
he's a big name actor.
It would have, yeah.
I would
Like,
have thought he would have.
he didn't really have a big role though.
Yeah, he was a weirdly small role for him.
they were not afraid to kill off Drew Barrymore, and she was.
Yep.
fair.
You're right. And well, we skipped over to the first actual killing. Kyle Gallner. What's his name? Vince.
Vince.
Yeah. So you were saying something. He was in passing. It was a passing line that he was related to somebody.
Yeah. Just very quickly, the only notion of relation Vince was, besides having like hooked up with one of the characters, Liv, is that he was related to Stu. I think Vince was supposed to be like Stu's sister's kid, so basically Stu's nephew.
See, that's a stretch. I don't know why that was really in there. That was a very weird
I
plot
think-
line.
Like a red herring. Like we don't
Yeah.
necessarily
Yes.
we see him get stabbed in the neck, so like logistically we're like, yeah, he's probably gone. But the way these movies work, you
They
would
leave it open for somebody can
I mean,
come
Dylan
back.
Minette was stabbed in the neck too, and that was pretty fucking gruesome.
But that was like a long take where you're just
Like,
like,
oh my god.
well,
really
his went all the
slow.
way through.
Yeah, he's
like,
"Hi."
So
Them prosthetics though, Jesus,
that was some good work.
it was well done for sure. Very
into a
intimate.
campaign.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the police lady. What's her name? Judy Hicks.
Judy Hicks, yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to die.
Sorry, now we get to the midpoint, I guess.
Okay.
Want to get there?
Yeah,
All right, so-
midpoint.
So we're at the hospital. What's her face? Tara is in the hospital alone. Lights shut off. Whatever.
Where's the nurses?
Where the fuck are the nurses?
So there's a police officer, but there wasn't a police officer.
there aren't
they
any
do the
nurses or
same-
doctors around?
The same thing in Scream 4.
But like,
Yeah.
I hate those tropes, man. I hate them. They make no sense.
You and that guy behind us should have had a beer and just talk shit about this movie.
I don't want to talk shit about this movie because I liked this movie. I hate those tropes.
Yeah.
Every time, like in the door opening scene, like that whole 5-minute scene we just talked about with Dylan.
Yeah.
Hate that too.
Yeah,
But
it's a horror movie thing. It's just
This is-
I know, and I love horror movies.
It's less forgiving because you got to figure it's 8 o'clock at night. Like, where the fuck is everyone? Like, I've worked at a healthcare setting. Like, there's at least someone besides the police officer.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back off of that topic for a second. So what's their faces? Dewey and everybody else show up.
Dewey, Richie,
Sam.
Richie, Sam. They all show up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Ghostface comes out and attacks them all or whatever. Dewey shoots him 3 times. And he's like, all right, they all get to the elevator to get out. And Dewey's like, oh, you got to shoot him in the head. That's the only way this is going to end.
Well, the second the elevator doors closed,
Like,
I knew it was going to happen.
He's going to die.
I knew it was going to happen, and
he got gutted.
he got gutted, dude. Oh my god! I mean, what a way to go out, though, because he survived literally, like he said in the movie, he survived 9 stabbings.
Yep.
But 2 gunshot wounds and
Permanent nerve damage.
yeah,
limb.
permanent nerve damage.
This poor man.
This dude has been through so much, but what a way to go out! And
he still had feelings for Gail, and
yeah,
it's like, oh,
it's tragic. And
Gail had just shown up, and he had just seen her again after the
To
murders.
get that closure.
With Dylan Minnette and Judy Hicks.
yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
I can't imagine starring in a movie with my ex. Like the fact that they were married.
Exactly. It's got to be so to have a franchise with your ex.
Yeah.
Have to do 4 movies going back to when you weren't really on the best of terms. They're probably good
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, they're probably fine.
I mean, they co-parent one of their kids, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
pretty sure
cool.
that kid's probably old enough now, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's emotional watching someone.
Yeah. It's probably they probably yeah. I mean, I imagine that it would have been awkward to film those scenes, but I wonder if sometimes I think when Courtney or when Gail finds out that Dewey died, I wonder if she was actually thinking what if David died? And,
Yeah.
this is how I wonder if that's how she I don't know how actors get into the scene or whatever.
They just take trauma from their past, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's mainly what it is.
Yeah.
But
Well, you acted? Huh, bitch?
I always watched it knowing what I know about
I'm gonna
them.
get into character.
Knowing what I know about them as characters, I can't help as a couple. I can't help but think of their characters like they are in real life. So I didn't see Scream 4 because I was before. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it recently because I didn't watch scary movies. I was 14. I was like, fuck scary movies.
You're just I don't want fuck all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until I was a good 16, 17 I got into it. But
Yeah.
it's weird knowing the context that they were in a relationship in real life and they split up in real life. They split up in the movies. So I'm just shit, this is probably all repressed stuff that just
Yeah.
comes out
Yeah.
when they film Scream.
It's gotta be. You know?
All right. So the very next scene, Nev Campbell comes back. Sydney Prescott
Hell
She's-
yeah.
back, comforting Courtney Cox in the hospital.
Yeah.
Where, yeah.
I like how Sydney is used in this movie. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal this from Jeremy Johns because I saw a movie review from him. He said in the original Scream, Sydney is like the queen. Everything revolves around her, and she is
Call
the
her
main player.
Scream Queen.
Yeah. Okay. Just fine. I'll give you that one. And then he said in Scream 4, she's treated more like the king because she's the leader, the kind of legacy person of that has everything, the main character. You know what I mean? So if she dies, the franchise dies, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In this one, she's treated more like the Rook, where she's kind of she's she's just like the defender. She's like, I've been through this so many fucking times. I know exactly what to do. And she's going to fucking kick ass. And she knows, she's going to take over in the second half.
Yeah.
And like do what she has to do. And she's a cleanup crew.
That's the
great.
part
She
of
is
it.
the cleanup crew.
That's the part of it that scared me. Because obviously, like, I don't want her to become Laurie Strode or Jamie Lee, for that matter, of, like, yeah, she's got a great presence in these movies, but, you know, obviously I don't want to see her be, like, in her 60s playing Sidney Prescott.
Yeah.
I don't think that does justice, and I think she knows that as an actress. But I'm also glad that she doesn't die, and that they were able to use her character, but also make it not about her necessarily,
Yeah.
but just her relation to Sam and Tara.
That's something that I think that this movie does that a lot of, or not a lot actually, a few franchises have been able to do in recent years by bringing back legacy characters, creating a new story at the same time, and having the franchise go on after that. I can count maybe Cobra Kai. That's really good. They were
Yep.
able to do it. They're still doing it. Season 4 was amazing. You got to watch it.
It was.
That's the only one I can think of right now. There's a couple more there out there, but sorry if I forgot anyone's name.
Okay.
But yeah,
How about them
Yeah.
like commenting on that? Commenting on the
Yeah,
fact
I-
that she would be.
that's what made me love Mindy as a character, where she's like explains everyone's gripes perfectly to a T. Where she's like, and they even joke about like, oh, isn't that by the guy that did the Knives Out movie? I'm like, yes, it is. Where she's like, and when it's like, oh, I actually like that one, and then Mindy just like tosses it off. It's like, no, it wasn't good. So, dude, Mindy, favorite character in this movie. She's the Randy of her new generation. It's
Yes.
fucking great, and
She survived.
she survived. And I just love. And
We're gonna get
she's
to
also
that.
a great actress. She's in Yellow Jackets as well.
Yeah, see, I gotta watch that, but someone won't give me a Hulu.
So
It works now.
I'm gonna
Does it work?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say in Scream 6, she dies.
Yeah, that
Because-
might be because that's how Randy dies in 2.
Exactly.
If they have a Scream 6.
They
Depends how
might.
much money this one makes.
I think
but-
it's good enough to earn that. It's a well-known franchise. I think it's a horror movie, so it's a really low budget, so the bar is lower. I think it could do it.
Part of me wanted there to be more of a twist though.
Yeah.
Like I liked it,
Yeah.
but
Let's get to that Act 3 then. So we end up at fucking Stu's house of all places,
Right.
because that's where a party is being held of all places, and is so meta. But I liked it. I did like that they brought it to Stu's house. I will give it that. There's a party going on. They all show up to get Tara's inhaler because she forgot it, and she knew she had an extra one at Amber's house, or with Amber, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. Was Amber's house Stu's house?
Yeah.
It was? Okay.
Yeah. Like so. Like I just want to point out how fucked up it is that they're throwing a party. Where she's like, "Fuck you guys! This is supposed to be a memorial. You're taking shots, but like you got the music playing in the background. You invited like a bunch of teenagers over. Like it's a party. Like the people are gonna drink. So it's like get your head straight. Are you gonna do a memorial for your friend Wes that you really cared about,
Yep.
or are you gonna throw a party just sort of disrespecting him?" In my opinion, if that were me, if I were Wes, I would be like, "You guys never cared about me. You didn't give a shit about me."
that's fair. That's fair. Like what was she expecting? Like what did she have planned that didn't like happen?
Exactly. And like when you found out, she doesn't really care about Wes anyway, because she's
She-
probably the one who killed him.
Well, she never cared about it. She says that in the beginning, in the text messages. She's like, "Is Wes still bothering you?"
Okay.
Because Wes really cared about Tara.
Yeah. I wish they could have had more time or a way to kind of make that better, like
Yeah.
more concrete.
Established.
But like Tara and Wes really aren't the main characters of this movie. So that's just the unfortunate thing. But I like that they try to include like a little bit of backstory for some side characters. That's cool.
Yeah, I feel like we could have used a little more for Mindy and Chad, but
Chad specifically, he didn't get anything.
He really didn't get anything, and then he got killed off in the yard.
Well,
Because he went outside.
so
alone.
we thought.
There was so much meta about the basement.
Oh, he survived, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah. I think him and Mindy were giving each other thumbs up. at the
Oh,
end.
that was right. Yeah, there's the whole meta scene where they're just like talking about like, oh, you can't go in the basement, and all that stuff like alone.
Yep.
It's like, oh, who's the killer here? It's like, oh, are you the killer? Am I the killer? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, okay, so
It was
first time
funny.
watching that, I loved
It's probably
watching
the first time.
because it's like, what if you were in a horror movie and you were sentient? You knew what was going on. Like, how would you react? Would you be like, you knew the rules? You would probably ask,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how do I know to trust you? And can you come down to the basement with me?
Good point.
I thought it was good because that they hinted at that a little bit in Scream 1, and I love that they were able to make that more in depth here. I mean, I do agree with you. It does get a little like oversaturated with it.
They kept doing it.
Yeah, they kept doing it. That's where. Yeah.
And then, Richie was like, oh, can someone go in the basement with me? And then Mindy was like, nah. And he's like, all right, it still went down. That was like a dead giveaway. It was like, oh, he's definitely the fucking killer.
and then he said, "I'll be right back."
Yeah.
And then they're both like, ah. And so
Yeah.
maybe that also means he's the killer because Stu
Yeah.
said the same thing in the first one.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And
Lots
there's
of
the whole
metas.
scene of Mindy watching the movie,
Yep.
and
And
Ghostface
she
coming
learned
behind
from
her.
her mistakes.
She's
She
like-
learned from
she was-
Randy's mistakes.
Yep.
It was so great.
It was well done. She got stabbed in the fucking shoulder, but
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I love how we don't know that at first. Like, we think she's a
I thought she was
goner.
dead. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
We think she's a goner for like, I don't know,
Like
3,
they
4
didn't
minutes.
establish that very well either, but like I guess you got to make sure it's like, oh, maybe they actually are killed off. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
I
she's
can-
the killer. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
One of
like Amber was saying towards the end of the movie, he's like, our movie has stakes, so.
Yeah. So the plot twist. It's when who's the other girl? Liv. So Liv, she comes into the room, rushing into the room, like right after Ghostface left, and like, oh, is she the killer? And she's like, everybody's ganging up on her, like, oh, she's the killer. She's like, she's the killer. And
She's like,
Liv is
"I
like,
know."
I'm not the killer. And then Amber's like, I know. I am. She was in the fucking face. That
That
was
was-
so good.
That was great.
That was so. Well,
I
it
was
reminded
like,
me a little.
oh, we're starting the third act right now. Okay.
That reminded me a little of Until Dawn, except like when everybody's getting up on Emily and then they shoot
Oh,
her in the
yeah.
head. Yeah.
That was my favorite part of that
I
game.
know,
'cause
'cause I fucking hated Emily.
hated Emily so much. She was the worst. Have you ever played Until Dawn?
No.
Oh, it's so
it's a
good.
choose your own path type of horror game.
I didn't even know it was a game. I thought it was a show or a movie. Like,
No.
I love those games.
all right,
Anyway.
I'll have to get it.
Yeah,
But I will say my gripe with Liv as a character, they were like, oh, you're too boring. Like, Mindy was like, nah, you're too boring. She's just fucking annoying. Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
she
Yeah.
just, like, pissed me off in nearly every scene. Just little too psycho. I'm like,
Yeah.
I really didn't care when she died. I mean, I was like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
I was like, cool, you're dead. I love this.
Oh, thank God. I hated those scenes with her. Yeah.
But yeah, then she gets fucking burnt to a crisp. She gets shot twice by
Oh, Amber
Courtney
does?
Cox. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
By Courtney Cox. Gets burned to a crisp. And like, holy shit. I was like, oh,
Really
damn, that was good.
Over the top kill, but like in
Yeah.
a great way.
It was well done.
Yeah.
Well done. And Richie, yeah, I don't know.
Did you like the reveal with Richie?
I saw it coming the whole time. It's like it's definitely gonna happen. He stabs Sam in the side. It's like, yeah. I want to be the one to kill you. Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
I knew him from the beginning. Amber was the more shocking one to me. I was like,
I had my suspicions that she was in on it because the killer's just recording her really closely
Yeah.
in the beginning. You know, it has like the video of her. She's like doing her hair or whatever.
yeah.
He's like really close to her. I don't know how you wouldn't notice that unless you were like in on it.
Yeah. But how could that have been Jack Quaid though? Because like, I mean, he was supposedly with Sam in Modesto.
Okay, what?
So like, what's that about?
So part of that, I think it was when I was watching it, I was like, it was probably staged so that he had an alibi that he was with Sam.
Yeah. But they also said he was remoted into it or something like that. He was like what's the word?
Cloned the phone.
He cloned
right?
the phone, so he can do that from anywhere. So I don't. He must have just had her phone like
He took it
IP or something. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Like are you talking about the first call, or the first kill that he made? That he did?
Yeah, when they were talking with Amber on the phone, and he said
You're talking with Amber on the phone.
yeah, when Tara was talking, the very first scene where Tara was
Right. Oh, I'm pretty sure I was just Amber.
Yeah,
Just-
she
just
could have
texting her
just set
from
up
her
her
own phone.
phone. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
How easy is it to be like, oh, this isn't me, when you don't see a face?
See, I thought it was shaking, so I thought somebody
Yeah.
was holding it.
Well, yeah, I think it was shaking. That's why I think it might be a plot hole. I thought you were. Wait, hold on. We're on two different tracks. I thought you were talking about like the texting.
No.
Oh, okay. Because the texting should literally just be her.
Yeah,
like,
I
on her
know.
phone,
I'm not,
like
yeah,
fucking
no,
with her.
I wasn't talking
Oh,
about
okay.
that. It was.
Yeah, I do think that is a little bit of a plot hole. Unless she got somebody to like do some random thing for her. Like, can you just like film me outside of my room real quick?
Well, it could have been taken at any point. It wasn't like it was a live feed. It wasn't like it was a
yeah.
FaceTime. I was actually kind of disappointed that they didn't utilize FaceTime. You know,
Yeah.
I thought maybe because that's like in the moment thing. You can't fake a FaceTime.
Probably couldn't get a deal with Apple.
Yeah,
Fair.
true.
Fair point.
You could do Skype probably.
Gotta
Zoom?
get a deal with Skype. Gotta get a
Zoom,
deal.
you do Zoom,
Gotta
man.
get a deal with any of them. So
Shout out quarantine filming.
I love when he was when Richie's like coming and we had to break up the party. He's like, "Hello, Gen Z."
Oh my god, that was funny.
He's
I was like, dude, you're the fucking killer. Who would kick everyone out of a party? You say that it's a death trap,
Yeah,
but then
like-
kick everyone out? Come on.
I didn't love. So in the first Scream, the diversion to get everybody out away from the party is that the principal is dead and they hung him on like the football
Yes.
post or whatever. This one, they kind of like half-assed in my opinion, where they just like everyone's just kind of like cool with just leaving, just because some guy said so. I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense to me.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a little weird, but
I'll go with it.
there's still a killer on the loose at that point, so they're just like, oh, whatever, and they're in a group, so they can all leave as a group. I mean,
But like as like they've been establishing for this entire movie, one of them is the killer,
yeah,
or two of them is the killer. So
but like none of them would have known that. Like the guests at the party, they wouldn't have known that.
yeah,
So like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like explain it away, but like it's kind of a plot.
You don't. It's like it's something you don't have to really care about. You know,
a
Well,
horror
Just kinda
how
go with
much
it.
how much time was there between when Wes dies and when they have the memorial party? Like, is that even like a day, or was that like
Probably like
later
a day
on?
or two at least. You know,
Something like that. I didn't pay attention at the time.
no love for Judy though.
Nope.
Where's Judy's memorial,
did.
huh? She made some bomb ass lemon squares. I heard.
Oh my god. All right, yo. Let's get to our favorite parts of this movie.
Oh, I gotta think
Danny,
about
might
this
as well
one.
start. You started last time.
I gotta think about this one though.
Or Kylie, if anybody has a favorite part.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Favorite part when Dewey dies. I love it because like they are even able to be meta in the moment where it's all right. One, I thought it was clever that he was wearing the Ghostface was wearing a bulletproof vest. So I'm like, oh, that explains why he's still alive. And Dewey's like, we need to shoot him in the head. That whole scene is great. And then Ghostface gets the upper hand, stabs him in the stomach, and then stabs him in the back, and then twists up his back. It's gory but great. And then he
say.
said, and then his last words to him are, "It's an honor." And I'm like, oh, it's so great. Like, because it's like, of course, Ghostface would say this to like the living legend that is Dewey in this canon of movies, and then it's an honor to see like David Arquette finally fucking die in the movie, but it's an honor to see a good send off to that character, like in the true fashion of Scream, you know?
Yeah.
Cathartic. The fact that there's two knives.
Yeah,
The fact that he comes back and like is like, I'm gonna finish this off once and for all, and he doesn't get that like reward and that closure of killing. It's like, come on.
yeah. I know,
And
it's
then
like,
Gail
damn it,
and
could've
Sydney
done-
to the rescue, like towards the end.
Yeah,
I think my favorite part is honestly when Amber shoots Liv. That whole scene.
That is really
build-up,
cool.
That was good. But if I had to pick another one, since I already mentioned that, it was the scene where they were all like at the house. They're all at one of the houses, and they were
Mindy's house?
Mindy's house, and Mindy was explaining how like all of them relate to one another and everything. I really liked how that was it was meta, but it was kind of like the start of the movie and what everything was going to be about, and it kind of just made sense. It's like, oh, okay, this is how it's going to go, and they stuck to it. They didn't really stray from it for the most part, and it worked.
Yeah. Cool.
Those are two really good favorite moments. Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, I really liked Mindy. I like how she honors her uncle. Also, really liked Dewey's death. That was great. Amber burning to a crisp and
that
then
was
running
awesome.
back like Billy Loomis.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
yeah.
god. Yeah.
He kind of like charges.
Oh, they always
towards
come
them.
back.
They always come back.
Always come back.
Yeah, you guys basically said the top two. But maybe seeing someone burn was interesting. In the trailer, someone in the Twitter community did actually call that it was Amber burning.
That's in the trailer?
In the trailer, yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
I hadn't seen any of the trailers.
I only
so
saw
I
the
went in
first
blind.
one. I just remember seeing the first one where like it basically just the opening I guess attack, not the kill, but that's all I remember of this movie. Or then I remember getting like Dewey calling Sydney in like the first half and being like, "You better watch your back." He's like, "I'm Sydney fucking Prescott. Of course I have a gun."
Yes. I will say that is top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then also, just because I'm the fucking killer, whatever, shoots Liv.
Oh yeah.
Again, that was cathartic. That was amazing.
Yeah.
None of our theories came true. That we
Unfortunately.
I wanted Stu, but you know what? This movie was still good just on its own. Overall, I think first one was in 87, I said. This is probably like an 81, 82, somewhere in there.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. 81.
Yeah?
Yep, because it's not as good as the original,
Nope.
but I think it might. I do this with a lot of movies because I said Halloween Kills. I'm on record for saying this. I said Halloween Kills might be the best Halloween movie.
Yeah, you
Ever.
did say that.
I did. Hey, I was fucking hyped for that movie. But now I've come down on it. But so I want to give myself an more accurate reading of this movie. I think it's going to be 81 because, I mean, I liked it a lot. And I think I just need to to offset it that way.
There were a few scenes that were drawn out too long, there was too much meta stuff.
I think they sidelined Gale Weathers
Yeah.
really for no reason, honestly. That felt a little weird to me. But
Yeah, maybe they couldn't get Courtney Cox for that long.
yeah, maybe. I don't
possible.
know.
Yeah.
Like she's just sitting there, just chilling on the lawn. But they did that to her in the first one too, so I guess I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah.
What
I
if
don't
they
know.
were like, yo, one of these kids is Gail Weathers' like love child with someone?
Oh,
Like,
that's what they're gonna end up. If they keep going down like that route, they gotta start doing new connections to new characters instead of just going back to the well with like connections to Sydney.
they get a wasted connection with Vince that wasn't drawn out enough. Certain scenes were drawn out too much. I would agree, like 82, 83, 81, like somewhere in that range. I wanted to like it more. I was afraid this was going to happen. But yeah, some of that stuff was too drawn out. Some of it wasn't drawn out enough, elaborated on enough. I did like how they set up Sam to be psychotic, and so maybe she would be the killer because she's Billy's illegitimate kid. But-
we didn't really talk about that.
Oh yeah,
That's a big thing.
That's
like her motivate. It's kind of like the Rey Skywalker thing, where it's like she's actually a Palpatine. She has this dark side that nobody knows about, and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought. Oh, also good. Do you think it was good or bad CGI on Skeet Ulrich? Did you like that or no? I thought it was like Uncanny Valley. I thought it was good for what it was, but like it wasn't
weird.
great.
It was weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I guess it worked for what it was.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, so Sam is the daughter of Billy Loomis. They do have places to go with her in the future. If she's like the new Sydney, and then we have the new.
Her sister Tara would be more of the new Sydney because she looked a lot more like Sydney Prescott. She had the look.
She did.
She had very similar bone structure and everything to Sydney Prescott.
I thought they were. Yeah, I thought that the other day when
Yeah.
I saw a picture. I saw like a certain picture of Jenna Ortega, and I was like, man, she looks a lot like Nev Campbell here. Like you said, the bone structure in her face, like her jawline.
I think they're gonna probably set her up more.
That'd be cool. She's more of a survivor.
And Sam will
than
get killed in the next one or something.
That'd be cool.
They never say who her mom is, so I was like, ooh.
Yeah, she's in London. Who the fuck is she?
Could be like, well, no, it can't be Tatum. What am I talking about?
Well, yeah, who?
Well-
I mean, Billy could have fucked anyone, honestly, but I don't know.
Well, Sydney didn't put out, so he had repressed, sexual tension, and he definitely wasn't going to use that on Stu as much as Stu would love to imagine that scenario.
It could have just been someone random, honestly.
Yeah, but part of when they were like, "Oh, she was in London," I was like, In real life, Nev Campbell spent 10 years of her life in London, so I was like,
Is that like a callback to that?
I was like, that's kind of a stretch, but they never do say who the Carpenter sisters' mom is, so I was like,
Yeah.
Or
maybe?
where
Well, never mind.
where Sydney was, either.
Well, they don't say who the actual father is
of Tara.
Of Tara,
Oh, of
Yeah.
Tara, yeah, that's true.
who just mysteriously left. Could it be Cotton Weary?
Who?
knows?
Yeah.
He's the guy that Sydney claimed killed her mother in the first one. He's on screen for like 2 seconds.
Oh.
But he has a bigger part in the sequels.
I've seen the second one, but only once. So
He's shown in a news recap
Gotcha.
when she is at Tatum's house. She slept over, and like they're eating breakfast for like a second.
Yeah, it's very blink and you miss it. But he
Yeah.
he gets killed in the third one, I think. Or he's the opening kill, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't give up Sydney's location because they are now friends after the events of the ending of Scream 2.
Which, like, good for that guy. He's got a lot to overcome, being accused of murder, and then being friends with the person that accused you. That's gonna be hard for him.
Yeah. Well, he saves their lives, both Gail and
Oh
Sydney,
yeah, and at the end of 2, yeah.
All right, so it looks like we're all in agreement. It's about 81, 82, 83, somewhere in there for this, for Scream 5.
I don't think I would have liked it any better if it was 5 cream. I think I think that would make it go to at least early 60s
Jesus.
It's like, how can you name a movie 5 Cream?
or late 60s. I mean, if you know what I mean. My
All
bad.
right. Well, we're Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle at Seen It Beforecast. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Danny_Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. And Kylie, thanks for being on the podcast again.
Thanks for
Always
having me.
you.
We had some awesome conversations on this. Like, I learned a lot more about Scream tonight than I've ever learned in my life. So,
So first off, I want to say, and to quote this new movie, it's an honor. And then number 2, it's great just talking Scream and talking movies with you guys. If you guys ever want to know anything about Scream, apparently I'm an expert.
I think we know the person to call.
Exactly. Call me in case Ghostface shows up. I'm only 20 minutes away.
But what if your Ghostface says we already kind of talked about earlier?
Yeah, it's like, you can never be too sure.
You're right. I am the expert.
That'd be the perfect like plot twist for the sequel because anyway.
Toxic fandom.
Yeah, so we still have we haven't figured out how we're gonna end these episodes yet. We should really get on that. We should really figure out how we're gonna end these episodes because it used to be,
It used to be Wumbo.
Wumbo or no, what
Or
was
stay-
the-
no, it used to be Stay Cool.
Stay Cool.
Oh, I got one.
It's been an
an
honor.
Oh,
That's how we're gonna end it. Yeah.
we
All
want
right,
to.
I'm down with it.
We want to also say, watch out. Your love interest can be a killer, and very often is the killer.
I'll be watching out for Sep then.
Yeah.
Yikes.
She'll kill me in my sleep.
No, dude, careful. Sep's gonna like gone girl you.
Oh, dude, she would though. She would.
That's why she's reading right now. She's trying to like figure out.
She's like planning the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. It's been an honor. See you next week.